I went to hear a teaching by a group of monks, and I was so inspired. This monk talked about how you could have the thought, everything you do could be helpful. Whatever you're doing, how can this be helpful to others? And I just felt like he meant it. So I went out and wanted to learn more. I go talk to this little monk who's like, selling stuff. And I'm like, I want to learn how to do this. And, he didn't speak much English, but he knew how to take my money and sell me some swag. And then I saw a monk in the parking lot who's, Westerner. And I started talking to him and said, if you want to know how to do this, that Lama that you've been talking to, that Buddhist, he is one of the greatest of this whole tradition. Go volunteer, And so I cleaned bathrooms, I volunteered, and I hung out there. One day, he said I was ready to go to India, get a haircut, join a monastery. The shock to that was years later, I'm at the monastery, I'm getting ordained, they assign a teacher to you, and the teacher they assign is the monk who gave that talk those years earlier, becomes my teacher living in India. I come back from India, and there's this little round jolly monk who needs a place to live. The guy who sold me the mala becomes my roommate for the next, bunch of years. And the Westerner in the parking lot, well, essentially, I was assigned his job to travel with monks around the country. Basically, they set me up like years in advance. And then the biggest part was what drove me to do that was I went to see the Dalai Lama in 2004 and receive a teaching. 2006, when the Dalai Lama came back in town, I'm a Buddhist monk and I'm in charge of hosting the Dalai Lama for 6,000 people. Just a regular person in the audience. 2 years later, I'm a monk meeting the Dalai Lama and hosting that same event. It was quite shocking.